Hello, welcome to Nina's Knots Crochet. I'm Lynanne. If you're new here, hey, thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel. Well, it's all about crochet, a little bit about knitting, and a lot about yarn. But mostly, it's my life and my journey through this fantastic yarning community. Returning subscribers, thanks so much for coming back, spending a little bit of your Tuesday with me. Tuesdays around here are Tunisian Tuesday, and that's what I'm doing right here. Today, we are starting a make-along-ish start project. We're not really doing a make-along. We're just gonna all make the same thing. I guess that's actually the definition of a make-along, right? Okay. There's no deadline on this. There's no prizes on this. This is just a project that you can use your straight needles with, your straight hooks, another word for them are Afghan hooks. And you can have a beautiful scarf at the end of this. Oh shoot, I gotta pull up my computer because I can't remember the name of the designer, but it is the Tunisian ripple scarf. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. I will list it in my description box below so that you can go get it. It's a easy, once you get the setup row done, it's the same thing back and, for all of the rows. It's a simple repeat, but you're gonna make this really cute scarf. I've been working on this one I wanted to make sure I could do this because I'm not really good with the chevrons, but this looked like something I could handle. So, oops, now I've got two of them going. But you can see, look at that. Isn't that pretty? The yarn in this one is really making it. The designer is, I have to scroll down. I should have been more prepared, but nah. Okay, the Tunisian ripple scarf. It is by Regina WEISE. I knew that. I just couldn't remember. You use worsted weight, or she has it listed as Aran weight, and a 6.5mm hook. My small version, I'm actually using a 6mm hook because I don't have a 6.5mm hook. This double-ended hook is a 6.5mm, so, but it's kind of wieldy and awful, but it's the only one I had. So this smaller version, I'm using a 6. This one I'm using a 6.5. Yeah, if you have one of these, this I think I picked up at Hobby Lobby. It's a double-ended hook for doing Tunisian in the round. But I wanted to show you that you could do this scarf with the Afghan hooks because you're only using 39 stitches. It is not, I mean, look, this is Nako Mona Lisa yarn. Look how pretty that is, and it's soft, and it's going to be a beautiful scarf. This one, the one that I've got further on that the yarn is doing all the beautifulness, that is those woolly Fair Isle that I got on clearance. The color is light aqua turquoise, but it's doing the design itself on this, and I think it's turned out really, really, really pretty. My husband says these look like trees. Yeah, I see that. They look like spruce trees or pine trees. But yeah, the yarn is doing the work here. It's gonna need to be blocked because it's a kind of a tight stitch, but that's okay. In order to do this pattern, all you need to do is to know how.
Could you try again?
No, I wasn't talking to you. It's crazy. You need to know how to do the knit stitch, which I have shown you. You need to know how to do the full stitch, which I have shown you. You need to know how to do, that's it. You need to know how to do the knit stitch and the full stitch, and you too can make this. It's not difficult. The pattern is super easy. I have it completely memorized. I can whip through a row in no time at all. and you get this beautiful pattern when you're done, that will make a really great gift for yourself or someone. I mean, it's September 3rd, people. We're hitting gift giving season. We're always looking for something new and unique. Why not a beautiful Tunisian crocheted scarf? And I'm hoping by October I can show you how to make fingerless mitts in Tunisian and make a beautiful set as a gift. So this pattern, like I said, is free on Ravelry. You need approximately 650 yards to make the size that she did, but it is so customizable. If you want to go up, if you've got a bigger hook, if you've got an 8 or a 10 millimeter hook, and you want to go up to a bulky 5, go for it. It'll be bigger and wider, maybe not as long, but you can go that's the other thing. You can go with this pattern, you can go as long as you want. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a quick little tutorial. I'm going to show you how to get started. I'm going to show you the setup row, the pattern row. We'll go through the pattern a couple of times, and then we'll go through the bind off. I'm not going to do a whole scarf. I'm just going to do a few rows just to get you an idea of how to go about making this scarf. And then this is a palette cleansing scarf. If you need something that you don't want to have to think about, but in the end you're going to have something really beautiful. I keep showing you the back side. This is the front side. This is a very simple 1-row repeat that becomes very meditative, very, very meditative. And this is a really good, I've been using this all weekend when I need a break from things that need a lot of brain power. I've been picking this up. So we're gonna give me a few minutes to get the table set up. I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Tunisian ripple scarf, and then we will you know how to get a hold of me. If you have a question about, yarn or size or anything, let me know. There's tutorials in my playlist of Tunisian Tuesday on how to do the knit stitch, how to do the full stitch, but I'll show you again. This is a very, very beginner friendly pattern, and you get something that looks amazingly difficult and amazingly beautiful. So get your hook, get your yarn, get some coffee or something to drink, and let's get started on making this beautiful scarf. I'll be back with the tutorial in just a sec. Okay guys, so this is the way we're going to get started. I'm using, as you can see, I'm using a 6 millimeter Afghan hook. The pattern does call for a 6.5. I don't have a 6.5 in one of these. If you don't have a 6.5, do a 7, do a whatever you're comfortable with. You don't have to use a straight hook. If you have a set with, the cords and you want to use that, here's my 6.5 with a cord on it. You could do that, but you're only going to need 39 stitches to get started with. So I went ahead and I made my chain of 39, and you guys know the setup row. If you've been watching, you're just going to go 1, 2 chains from the hook, and you're just going to pick up that back bump. Pick up the back bump all the way down until you have all 39 stitches picked up on your hook. For whatever reason in this pattern, this designer does not count the first stitch as in her stitch count. So she tells you you're picking up 38 stitches, but you're going to have 39 loops on your hook when you're done. So go ahead, finish that, get all the back bumps up on your hook. Make sure that you don't miss any of them. If I were you, and you're new to Tunisian and you are kind of a tight knitter or crocheter, why I gotta keep saying knitting, use a regular crochet hook to make your chain, but go up a hook. if you're using a 6.5 millimeter hook, Tunisian hook, make your starting chain with a 7. And then once you've got all 39, switch to your 6.5 to do your foundation chain, so that it's easy to get into these back bumps. These don't have very pointed hooks. They're very rounded. As you can see, it's a very rounded head. And if you are a tight crocheter, it might be hard for you to get into there. So just go up a hook size or a half a hook size to make your starting chain, so that it's easier for you to get on those back bumps. It won't make a big difference at the end because you're using the correct size to pull up a loop. It's just this beginning foundation chain. So go ahead and finish that, and I will get back with you when we reach the end. Okay, so I got all my loops on my hook, and you guys know how to do the return pass. Super easy. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, and pull through 2, so you have 1 left on your hook. You guys know this. You've got this. Go ahead, do that, and I will meet you at the end when you have just 1 loop left on your hook. Okay? See you in a minute. Okay, I'm coming down to the end. I just have a few more on here, so we're gonna do these last few. There's the last one. So that is your foundation row, and that's what it should look like. We haven't done anything yet, so it just looks like a regular chain. Now we're going to do the setup row, and this is the row where we're going to start with the designing of it. So for this pattern, and on every row, not only are we going to skip this first edge stitch like we do for every Tunisian, we're also going to skip the next stitch. So we're skipping 1, 2, and then into the third stitch in, we're going to do the knit stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. And then we're going to do another knit stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then another knit stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on your hook, but these 3 are all knit stitches. Then we're going to do a full stitch into this space. You see this space right here? That's where we're going to do the full stitch. And then we're going to knit into the stitch next to it. And then we're going to do a full stitch into that space. So you're basically bracketing this stitch, this knit stitch, with a full stitch on either side. And that's going to create that peak. Then we're going to knit stitch the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now this is going to be our valley. So to do that, we are going to do a knit 3 together. So what we're going to do in the first 2, we're just going to kind of go under the loops like you would for a simple stitch. And into the last one, we're going to knit. And we're going to pull up a loop, and we're going to pull through all 3 of those. And I lost my yarn. Okay. We're going to pull through all 3 so that all 3 of those are together. You see how those kind of pull together like that? That's knit 3 together. Then we're going to knit in the next 5. So here's your next stitch right there. So you're going to see this gets kind of pulled over and there's like a little space there. You're going to knit into the next stitch. It's very easy to skip that first one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to do the full stitch again. So we're going to full stitch into this space. Then we're going to knit into that stitch, and then we're going to full stitch on the other side of it. So that is the next peak. So we have peak, valley, peak. Then we're going to knit the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to do another knit 3 together. So we're going to go under 1, 2, and then knit into this last one. So you're going front to back, yarning over, pulling up a loop, and then pulling through all 3 of those loops so that they're knit together. See how they kind of like group up here? All 3 of those are together. That's going to give us our next valley. We're going to knit the next 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to do another peak. So we're going to full stitch, knit stitch, full stitch. So now we have a peak, a valley, a peak, a valley, a peak. Now we're going to knit in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Now you've got 2 stitches left, a stitch and the edge stitch. Well, we're going to skip this stitch and just go ahead and do our traditional edge stitch, which is making sure that we've got both hook, loops on our hook. And that's everything on there. Pull up a loop, and that's the first forward pass. Now the return pass is the normal return pass. There's nothing special about it. So you're just going to chain 1 or yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2, all the way down until you have 1 loop left on your hook. So go ahead and do that. Yarn over, pull through 2. And when you get to the end, I will meet you there. Okay, so I went ahead, because row 2 is the repeat. I went ahead and I did a bunch of rows so that you can see what the stitch pattern looks like, what the shape looks like, and then I can show you some of the pitfalls of making sure you have the correct stitches. Usually it's the peak is where I get lost, and I end up you would not believe how many times I have pulled this thing out and started over. So I'm going to show you again a row, but I wanted you to see it when it's got more stitches on so that you can see the actual stitch pattern and what we're creating here. So making sure that you're skipping that first stitch and the second stitch, we're going to knit the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do our full stitch peak. So we're going to full stitch into that space, knit into that stitch, and then full stitch into the space. Now be careful and not skip this next stitch, because it will throw your count off when you go to do the next valley. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you're going to knit stitch these 3 together. So we're going to go under this one. Oh, I got this a little too tight. 1 and 2, and then knit into that last one and pull through all 3, and then kind of closes those up. Then you're going to knit in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that one kind of, that 5th stitch is kind of the diagonal. And now we're going to full stitch into the space, knit stitch into the stitch, and full stitch into the space. And that's our peak. Now we're going to knit our way back down to the next 5. So don't skip this one right next to the space. Make sure you grab that one at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to knit the next 3 together, right? So 1, 2, 3, pull a loop through all 3 of those. Now we're going to knit the next 5. So we're going back up. 1, 2, 3. That went into the wrong. I didn't do that. 3, 4, and 5. Now we're into the space with a full stitch, into the stitch with a knit stitch, into the space with a full stitch. And then we're going to knit the next 3. So don't lose sight of the one next to the space. That'll happen. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip this last stitch here, and and you can see our edge, it's kind of pulled over a little bit, but we're going to straighten it out by doing the edge stitch. So make sure that you get both of the loops. So you have both loops on your hook, and yarn over and pull up a loop. And that will straighten that edge out. Oh, I didn't get in that right. I caught the wrong one. So there we go. Let's fix that so it's correct. Okay, see how it straightened that out with the rest of the stitches, so they're now in line. And then you're just going to do your return patch, which is yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way down until you have 1 left on your hook. You guys know how to do this, right? My wool genie's not being very cooperative today. So I'm going to do it one more time with you, but I'm not going to count. I'm going to just do it silently so you can see. So hang on, let me get down to the end, and then we're going to do a silent version. Okay, so I'm going to do this next row without counting, but you can see how beautiful this is looking. I'm going to do it without counting out loud. I know sometimes people get tripped up when somebody else is doing the counting for them. I'm one of those people. So I'm just going to go through this without counting. I'll try to slow it down so you can see what I'm doing, and you can not get the distraction of my counting for you. And there, that is one whole pass. So you can see how cute this scarf is going to be. The designer herself, Regina WEISE, Moral Fiber blog is the name of her blog. I'll have it listed in my description box below. If my video doesn't do it for you, if you can't figure out something from the video I just showed you, she also has videos linked in her blog site to do the stitches. So go ahead and feel free to check her out. She has some other Tunisian projects listed. I'm going to check those out and see what I can find that would be interesting to do, because I really like the style of this scarf, and I'd be interested to see what else she has in her catalog. So you guys, with that, I'm going to let you go. Okay, editing Lynanne popping in here real quick. There is no bind off on this. So once you're done, once you've reached your length, just tie this off, you know, knot it off, and sew in your end. That's simple. She used 2.5 skeins of yarn for her scarf, but again, it's customizable. Go as long as you want. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. I hope you have fun making this scarf. We're going to talk about it on Tuesdays here and there. Like I said, this is no deadline. We're just making this to practice our skills. So no pressure, no stress about this. This is supposed to be fun and a learning experience. And in the end, we're going to have a really beautiful scarf. Can't wait to see what you guys choose as far as your yarn choice. Make sure to post pictures on my Facebook page or in my Ravelry group, whatever you want to do, on Instagram. You can reach me in all those places. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and tell all your friends about Tunisian Tuesday. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and giving yourself some grace. But above all, be kind to everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Tuesday.